Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to the High School Sports Beat. I am Dave Yates. It's time now for the High School Notebook, and once again this week we are pleased to be joined by Matt Trabold. Matt, thanks for hopping on board.
Thanks for having me on.
You know, we talk a lot of lacrosse, and we always focus, or it seems to anyways, on the people that put up the stats, the people that are putting up the numbers, scoring the goals, that kind of stuff. Today we want to talk a little bit about some of the defensive standouts out of Section 5.
Absolutely. Earlier in 2020 on this show, like you brought up a second ago, I brought up Section 5 products who have wowed in recent seasons in Division I women's college lacrosse, scoring goals, offensive stats. Those are the stats a lot of people look at first. So that's Emily Howershuk at Syracuse. And even a week ago, talking about Emily Glagalev at Arizona State. But it cannot be forgotten that Rochester has also produced a number of defensive stars in the sport lately. In the entire country for the 2020 season, Duchaine Sydney Reed played her high school ball at Victor. She led in caused turnovers per game. That's top in the land and a big defensive stat. On top of that, one of her teammates in Aquinas grad, Alana Piano, also finished top 50 in the stat. So you like to see the connection there with Section 5 and the Dukes. When it comes to goalies, former Pittsburgh Panther Michelle Messenger, now a sophomore at Niagara, led the nation, the entire nation in save percentage in 2020. And then on the other coast, there's Webster Thomas alum Emily Resnick. After 3 seasons at Syracuse and a 2019 that saw her lead everyone at the Women's European Lacrosse Championship in points, had a lot of goals there. While playing for Team Israel, she transferred to San Diego State, where she was also top 15 nationally in caused turnovers for 2020.
Now, we love defense, but at the same time, it's so fun to talk about goals in lacrosse and some guys on the D1 level that were making some big moves this year.
Yeah, so I have brought up T.D. Ierlan a couple times already on here in 2020, and his little brother Chayse at Cornell and his Rochesterian Big Red teammates were also incredibly accomplished this most recent season. When the shortened 2020 season wrapped up for good, Cornell was undefeated and ranked second in the country in both polls, with their final game being an upset victory over then number 2 Penn State. So after 11 starts in net as a freshman, Chayse Ierlan, that little brother that I mentioned a second ago, he started all 5 games as a sophomore, and that included 10 saves apiece versus Albany and High Point. So not just getting wins, but also getting big stat days as well on top of that. Former Rondequoit Eagle and fellow sophomore John Lombardi, who was younger brother of former Penn State starting faceoff specialist Billy Lombardi. So at Cornell there, we're talking about a few different big Rochester area lacrosse, especially going into the college ranks, lacrosse families. So JJ went for 8 goals as a second-year player, including a hat trick versus Albany. So he's providing the scoring punch there for the Big Red. And an extra impressive accomplishment for him this season, he ended the year 11th nationally in shot percentage. So he's also very reliable when he's letting those shots rip.
All right, real quick, Matt, want to talk a little bit about one of the sports that really is one of the crowning gems in Section 5, and that is track and field. And we have some other athletes from our area who are doing well at the next level.
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago on the show, brought up how Lene Tava Thomas and Noah Williams went from Section 5 to becoming 2020 indoor track and field All-Americans for Division I. And I also wanted to highlight some of the Section 5 alum, current freshmen in D1 indoor track and field that began their college careers in style in impressive fashion in 2019, 2020. Tennessee Volunteer and former Spencerport Ranger Vanessa Watson had a season best time in the 400 meters at the SEC Championship and placed top 3 in the same event at a meet earlier in the season at Virginia Tech. Then Destiny Fernandez from Greece Athena and now Bowling Green finished top 15 in the pentathlon at the conference championships and won the high jump at an event at Toledo also during that season. So a couple of different events that she is very impressive at a young age. And then on the men's side, just wanted to highlight one guy, Niles Jones from Harley Allendale, Columbia, and now Stony Brook, finished 7th in the 500 meters at the America East Championship, despite, like I said, with these other two as well, just being a freshman. So we're talking about youth, but also a lot of skill going on.
All right, Matt, great stuff as always. It's been a great year, and as the Grateful Dead once said, what a long, strange trip it has been indeed. Thanks for being along all this time, Matt. We'll see you again next year.
It's been awesome. Thank you very much for having me on all this time.
All right, take care, bud. We're back with more of the High School Sports Beat right after this.